Hello, 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 my brothers and sisters. How are you doing this evening? This is your brother Tony M. Toomer. Come on in. It's dinner time. It's dinner time. It's dinner time. I have some good soul food for you this evening. The food is real hot tonight, and I think that you all will enjoy it. The table is set, so come on in. We got plenty of room at tonight's table, my brother and sister. Come on in, come on in. I worked it hard all day over the stove getting this meal ready for you. I even went out to the grill and threw a few things over the grill. So you going to like this particular show this evening, my brothers and sisters. Come on in, come on in. It's dinner time in your brother's Tony home. I hope that you all are hungry for this good soul food because I am ready to serve it up. I see that Sister Monica have came to the dinner table. The rest of you brothers and sisters, come on in. As a matter of fact, you brother and sister, you can invite some people in because it's family time and bring some more people in, okay? Because I got plenty of food. And as a matter of fact, you could take some leftovers with you when you leave, okay, my brothers and sisters? I hope that you all are doing well tonight. Your brother Tony, he is feeling excellent, blessed with a twist of serenity. And I hope that you all are doing well. We're about to approach this weekend. But enough said. If this is your first time watching this particular broadcast, allow me to introduce myself to you friends. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about relationships. I talk about relationship pertaining to that of a man and a woman. How you doing, Sister Kendra Williams? I see you at the dinner table. I talk about relationship pertaining to that of a man and a woman that is serious, committed, and want to get to the covenant part of the relationship. As you know, my brother and sister, God doesn't want it to be halfway. God would like for a man and a woman to cross these three hurdles. And what are those three hurdles? Those three hurdles are being serious, secondly, being committed, and thirdly, being in a covenant relationship. That's how God wanted to be. God wanted a man and a woman to cross that finish line. How you doing, mother? You'll see this here. The food is hot, so I see that you're joining us at the dinner table. Now, if you don't believe in the type of relationship that I'm about to describe, I still want you to sit at the dinner table. Now, what do I believe? I believe strongly that God had a unique relationship with the man Adam. Secondly, he had a unique relationship with the woman Eve. God brought the man and woman together, and in the presence of God, the man Adam said, "Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I shall call a woman because she came from man." That's the position I come from, my brother and sister. Now, if you come from another position, you have what is called a free will. You could do whatever you choose to do. But if you're sitting at the dinner table tonight, I'll specifically talk about the relationship of that between a man and a woman. How you doing, Auntie David? She's at the dinner table tonight. So we're about to kick it off. Now, we're going to sit around, my brothers and sisters, for this short meal. And tonight's topic is, let's move in together and see should we get married. Again, tonight's topic that we're going to discuss, let's move in together and see should we get married. There are a lot of couples out there. And as a matter of fact, I used to be one. And I had to experiment with it myself. Was it right or wrong? We're going to get into whether it was right or wrong about me, and we're going to get into whether it was right or wrong when it comes to you. But how we're going to start this off, we're going to say something from God's word first. As it is written, my brothers and sisters, and I'm going to read it to you as it is written in Genesis chapter 2, 21 through 24. Again, this is Genesis chapter 2, 21 through 24, Genesis 2, 21 through 24. And it say, "So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep. And while he was sleeping, he took of the man rib, and then he closed up the place with the flesh. Then the Lord God, he made a woman from the rib he had taken out of the man. And God brought the woman to the man, and the man said," and that man being Adam, he said, This is not bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I should call a woman because she came from man. And the man said, this is why a man shall leave his father and mother and unite with his wife, and the two shall become one. Let me tell you this, my brothers and sisters. It take me back to when I was a child, right? I was a child. And my mama used to have, she and some of her girlfriend, they used to have this club called the Social and Saving Club, something like that. So they used to meet sometimes on Sundays during the month. And what they would do, the ladies, they would bring all the children together. And we children, we had some fun while our mother was in the house taking care of their Social and Saving Club, being the children, we was outside. And we children, we had a lot of fun. We were playing things like tag. Some of you all remember some of this stuff. You know, you play tag, you play red light, green light, you play hide and go seek, softball, and you know, all types of children game that we used to like to play. But there was one particular game that we used to like to play. And you know what that game was? It was called Playhouse. We enjoyed playing Playhouse since it was more girls that outnumber the boys. Sometimes the girls, you know, one girl would say, well, I'm going to be the husband. And then one girl said, well, I'll be the wife, because the girls outnumber the boys, okay? But that was one game that we used to enjoy playing, Playhouse. And I mean, it was just a game to us. It was no responsibilities or anything like that. It was just a child's game. Then as time went on, we got older and older and older. And then me, myself, I got into what is called advanced Playhouse. And a lot of you brothers and sisters, you got into a game called Advanced Playhouse. Now, what is an Advanced Playhouse? Advanced Playhouse is when a man and a woman, they move in or they cohabitate, and the man call himself the husband, and the woman call herself the wife. But you see, the thing about it, just like when we was children, we were really not married. We were just playing the role of a husband and wife. But even though children played the role of husband and wife, minus the responsibility, then when you get older, it's some men and women, they still were playing the little children game called Playhouse. You know what I mean? So that's what happened. Now, what is Advanced Playhouse again? Advanced Playhouse, my brother and sister, is when a man, he plays the role of a husband and the woman plays the role of a wife. Now, the question, my brother, and the question, my sister, is why would a man or a woman or both of them decide to move in together? I'm going to answer that question shortly, but check out this. Let's go to some statistics. And here are some statistics, my brother and sister, that you need to be mindful of. And what are these statistics? One of the biggest kept secret, before I get to the biggest kept secret, let me just stay on the statistic. About 2/3, listen to me, my brother and sister, about 2/3 of marriages or married people, 60%, well, 66%, live together before they say I do. Now we're going by statistic. About 2/3 or 66% of married people live together before they say I do. And about 60% of marriages in the United States already live together before they get married. And here go another statistic. Living together before getting married is linked to a higher rate of divorce. Listen to me what I'm saying, my brother and sister. Living together here in the United States of America, the Western culture, majority of the divorce rates are linked to people being living together before they get married. Now, what is one of the biggest kept secrets that men keep from women? It's a big secret, but it's a known secret. And what is this big known secret? The big known secret, my brother, how you doing, cousin Mary James? Now, the big secret, my brothers and sisters, is this. Most men, and I have always said this, most men know whether or not he would like that woman to be his real wife. Majority of men going beyond the playhouse, and we know, me personally, know whether or not we want that woman to be our actual wife. There are so many relationships, my brother, and there are so many relationships, my sister. How you doing, Marco? There is so many relationships, my brother, so many relationships, my sister, where a woman, she's walking around with a whole bunch of question marks. She really doesn't know how far this trip is going to go with this particular man, right? And let me tell you how most relationships are, my brother and sister. This is how most relationships. Most men, not all men, and when I say most men, I'm not talking about my spiritual brother. I'm talking about men of the flesh, okay? Men of the flesh, not, how you doing, Jay Chama? I hope that I pronounced your name right, but let me tell you, most men, and then there are some women, but I'm not talking about my spiritual brothers, and I'm not talking about my spiritual sisters. So I'm not putting everybody in no category, but a lot of times, since men supposed to be the leader and head of the relationship, majority of the time, men in general like to test drive. Do you understand what I mean by test drive? We're going to use, sister, I'm not calling you a car, okay? I'm not calling you a car, but I want to use this as an illustration. Now, what is test driving? And a lot of you know about test driving. It's like going to get a car, right? Now, let's say the man going to a dealership, right? And he look at different cars. He see different cars out there, different makes, different models, different years, different all kinds of things, right? So he go to this car, this car, this car, this car. So he make an arrangement with the salesperson, and especially if he got quote unquote good credit, he might want to test drive the car. As a matter of fact, sometimes they allow the man to keep the car. You know what I mean? Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Sometimes he allow the man to keep the car, depending on the quote unquote credit, right? So the man is test driving the car. So test driving the car is not actually committing to get the car. You understand? It's not saying I'm going to get the car, but I'm going to try it out. So what do I mean by that? Some guys, they are trying you sisters out. So they're gonna decide whether they're gonna keep you or take you back. You understand? Keep you or take you back. Because they're not committed. It's just open, and that's how some of you sisters are allowed to be. Some of you sisters allow some of these guys to test drive you to see whether or not he want to keep you or take you back to the lot where he got you from. And then there's another thing that some guys do, not all guys, but some guys do. Rent. They rent a car, like say for instance on a vacation or something like that, right? And remember, sister, I'm not saying that your car, I'm just using this as an illustration. Some men look at you as a rental. What do I mean by a rental? We know what a rental is. Like, say, for example, you want to go over, take a car for the weekend or whatever. But guess what? You're still not committed to it. You're still not committed to that rental. So what you do? The only thing you're required to do is to bring it back like you got it. You know what I mean? Just bring it back like you got it, but you enjoy the ride. So there are some brothers, sister, that you are like a rental. They will take you out. They will have some fun. And once they take you out and have some fun, remember, still not committed to you, right? And then they make sure you have just a little bit, and then they take you back. Still not committed. Then there are some guys, sisters, that view you as leasing you. Now, this is what we're getting into. Some guys, they lease you. What do I mean by this? This is where we come to the playhouse. Now, what is leasing? You still not fully committed to leasing because you don't own the car. You're not committed to it. You just committed to using it. Listen to the key word. You committed to using it, but you're still not committed to it. And then it's going to come to a point where you got to make a decision whether to continue to lease, or if you don't continue to lease, you're going to take that in and transfer the mileage to somewhere else, to another contract with a car. Now, what do I mean by that? Some of you sisters, you are, how you doing, Sister Flo Hard Mother? Some of you sisters, you are like a leased car, how some guys treat you. And when I say a leased car, how you doing, Sister T. Smith? When I say a leasing car, some of these guys, they decide to move in with you, or you decide to move in with him. And then the clock start ticking. Tick, 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 tick. It ticks to 5 years. Tick, tick, tick. 10 years. Tick, tick, tick. 15 years. Tick, tick, tick. 20 years. Tick, tick, tick. 25, 30, 40, 50, 60. On and on and on. But you still are being leased. How you doing, Sister Shara Eastmill? Welcome to the Dante. But you're still being leased. It's still not no full commitment. So once this guy get to the point where he got to make a decision, is he going to buy you because he been using you, but he will not fully committed to you, or am I going to roll over? When I mean roll over to a newer version. And that's what happened to a lot of you sisters. You are like a leased vehicle to some guys. They get to the point where they want to change over. And when I said change over from leasing, they're about to go to, they're going to upgrade. And when they upgrade, it's not you, because you were the one that they were leasing. They were leasing your time. They were leasing your energy. They were leasing everything about you. But he was not committed to you. Even though he stayed with you all those years. Even though you may have gotten, how you doing, Sister Teresa? Welcome to the Dante. Even though you, brother and sister, you have lived together, you have made different types of investment. You might even have children together. But guess what? You were still being leased. So what happened? He did not commit to you. Now he want to upgrade. He want to go to a high end. What do I mean by high end? He see another woman out there. And when he see this high-end woman out there, he's going to turn you back in wherever you was at. And he's going to go upgrade to the one, to what he really wants. And that's how some of you women place yourself. So my question is, sister, why do you allow a guy to test drive you? Why do you allow a guy to take you off the lot and decide whether or not he was going to keep you or not? Why do you decide to let this guy rent you for a few days? Why do you decide that? Why do you decide to let a guy lease you for years and years, and then it comes to a point where he's going to turn you back in? Why do you decide that it get to the point where this guy going to turn you in and upgrade? And that's what happened to a lot of you sisters. Now, remember, those of you that coming to the dinner table, tonight's topic is, let's move in together and see, should we get married? Now, let's get real at this dinner table, my brother and sister. Should we get married or not? There's God's view, and then there's man's view. Man's view is, and it's typical in this Western society, it's very typical. Man's view is, let's just see what's going, let's see, can we cohabitate together? That's what man's point of view. For those of you that came in, let me give you all some statistics, okay? Now, according to some statistics, 2/3 or 66% of married people live together before they say I do. Here go another statistic. About 60% of first marriages in the U.S. are already living together. Another statistic, living together before marriage, and this is a key thing you brother and sister need to understand. Living together before marriage is linked to a high divorce rate. It's linked to a high level of divorce rate. About 50% of couples, my brother and sister, that decide to move in together, just half of them marry within about 5 years. Other than that, they're playing the role. They're playing the role of a husband and wife. And I always say this, my brothers and sisters, especially to you, my sister. And brother, I'm not beating down on you. The reason why I hold us brothers responsible because God created us brothers to be the head and leader of the relationship. He did not create the woman to be the head of the relationship. He created the woman to be a helpmeet, or to say it differently, a helpmate. He created the woman to be assistant to the purpose that he gave to you. If you my brother, you know what I'm talking about. But most worldly men, they don't see that. Most worldly men, they are content being playing house. And you know why a lot of men do not want to commit to marriage, my sister? Because it's this thing in the United States, it's called divorce rape. What is divorce rape? A lot of men fear that if they have some assets and stuff, they fear that if they get into a marriage with a woman, she's going to take their assets from them. So they would prefer to just wing it and just live together. That's what some guys are afraid of. Some guys are afraid of commitment. Why are they afraid of commitment? Because some guys, due to their own selection, they chose the wrong woman. So they fear to commit to a woman. Let me tell you this, brother, all women aren't the same. Just because you got hurt by one, up to 10 women or however, you made a conscious decision, brother, to date these women. And another thing too, sister, you make a conscious decision to decide to let a guy spend time with you. So when a man and woman live together or cohabitate, man say it's nothing wrong with test driving. God has a problem with it. And I'm going to give you one of my life experience, my brother and sister, one of my life experience. I did it my way. You know, I'm going to be transparent. Some years ago, I did it my way, my brothers and sisters. I decided to play house. I decided to play advanced Playhouse. And I'm not talking about with Cinderella. I'm not talking about Cinderella, but in my past, I decided to play advanced Playhouse. And when I played advanced Playhouse, God allowed me to play advanced Playhouse. And when God allowed me, how you doing, Don Diamond? God allowed me to play advanced Playhouse. And I was playing my part. I thought I was playing my part, and the young lady, she was playing her part. But guess what? It went south. It went south. You know why it went south? Because I was doing it my way. Did I blame the lady for it going south? No, I didn't blame the lady for it because I'm the man. I made a conscious decision. She made a conscious decision, but that was not God's way. God's way, as I always say, is to be serious. I call myself serious. God called us to be committed. I called myself being committed. God said, get married. Even, you know what? I even got married. I got married. But I did not do it God's way. That's why I was one of the statistics that I just told you about. Living together before marriage is linked to a high divorce rate. Now, some people, they are quote unquote fortunate, but from the beginning, God don't want no man, and He doesn't want no woman living together before they're married. Because when a man and woman is not married before God, when a man and woman is not married before God, all God see is fornication. That's all God see. And I was fornicating. Like a lot of you brothers and sisters that looking at me right now, you're fornicating right now because you're living with someone. If you're not living with someone, you're dating someone and you're doing it. But I'm not no better than you brothers, and I'm not better than you sister. I know what it's like to be out there fornicating and stuff like that. So I'm not holier than thou. But what I'm telling you, my brother, and what I'm telling you, my sister, is it's not right. It's not pleasing to God. How you doing, Sister Dominique Claude? It's not pleasing to God. Welcome to the dinner table. It's not pleasing to God. What are you going to get out of playing house? You see, the world, your family, and your friend, they recognize your relationship. Your co-workers recognize your relationship. Social media recognize your relationship. But it's not God's way. God wants you, and at 3 levels, my brother and sister, I have to keep driving this home. God's position is, I want you to jump over these 3 hoops. I want you to jump over being serious. I want you to jump over being committed. I want you to jump over the covenant part. And I always say, sister, you got to listen to me. I say this so much, I say this so much, I say this so much. When we approach you, we already know within a short period of time whether we want to deal with you or not. For the long haul. It's not no mystery to us. It might be a mystery to you. But we know. We might not tell you, but we know. Once you open your mouth and start talking, no matter how you look on the outside, once you start talking, we put you in those category, and I have one of those categories before. We put you in a category, but the main 2 categories is this: whether we would marry you or whether we're not going to marry you. For those that like to live together and play house, a lot of you sisters right now, I'm talking to a lot of you right now, you have played house. Now, what do you have to show for it? What do you have to show for playing house? You wasted a lot of your time. You wasted a lot of your tears. You lost a lot of everything. Some of you lost out financially. But the biggest thing you lost out on, my sisters, when you wasted your time and this man left you and he upgraded. You listen to me, sister. You can't blame that man. You can't blame him. You know why you can't blame him? You can't play the victim, sister. You can't play the victim. You know why you can't play the victim? Because you participated in it. You exercise your free will. That man did not hold no gun to you. He did not hold no knife to you. He did not threaten you. You willfully did it. And brother, let me tell you something too. If that woman leave you and upgrade, it's not her fault. You willfully made a decision to go into that type of relationship. So ain't no need of you talking about her. And there's not no need for you stalking her, brothers. There are a lot of you brothers out there that like to go stalking women because they gone. You feel used, don't you, brother? Because she used your credit cards and your money and all that kind of stuff. She used you and used you. You know why she used you? Because most of the time you men, you lead with your pocket. A lot of you guys out there, you try to buy the affection of a woman with your pocket. Your pocket is a live ATM machine, and they know it. They knew it when they met you. A lot of times they were not even turned on by you. They were turned on by what you have, not you. And for some reason, you thought that you could buy love from a woman. You can't buy love with cash, brothers. She have to love you for who you are, not for what you have. And on the flip side of it, some of you sisters, you think because you do wifely thing for this guy, you think you do wifely thing, and you feel that he should choose you. No. Let me tell you this, some of you single brothers and sisters that listen to the sound of my voice. If you're not married, not only if you're not married, if you're not engaged, and when I say engaged, I ain't talking about being engaged for 5 years and plus. I'm talking about if you are engaged and married, that's a separate category. But brother and sister, if you are single, listen to me. You might not like what I'm about to say, but it's family time, and some friends, they could come to the dinner table too. Brother, that woman, she's a free agent until she say, I do to you. God's way. Sister, he's a free agent until he say, I do. God's way. You see what hurt a whole bunch of brothers and what hurt a whole bunch of sisters? When I say brother and sister, you know, I always talk about, not only talk about black men and black women. I'm talking about different races, different people on different economical levels, all that. I'm talking about because relationship goes across all racial colors and everything, okay? So I'm talking to you. Brothers and sisters, it's only two ways. You're either going to do it the broad way or you're going to do it the narrow way. The broad way is Satan's way. And that's short term. Everybody's doing it. Everybody doing it. But when you want to go the narrow way, they think is something wrong with you. The narrow way, my brother and sister, is the right way. I'm going to tell you this too. When I got finished playing advanced Playhouse, and when I met Cinderella, some of you, her name is Tequessa, but I call her Cinderella because the shoe fit. When I decided to marry Cinderella, we talked briefly about how we're going to do this, right? You know what I told Cinderella? I said, we're not going to move together. I said, I have been down that road before. I know what it's like to live with a woman and it comes to an end. I said, I got to do it God's way this time. And what was God's way? You stay up there where you at, and I'm going to stay down here where I'm at. But it didn't take us that long. It took, let me tell you, my brother and sister, it took us like, and some of you have heard it before, we met the latter part of August some years ago, and we got married on her birthday, less than 3 months. So that's what I'm telling you, sisters and brothers. Sisters, we know whether we want to marry you or not. Like I told Cinderella, I did not ask Cinderella to marry me. I told her, I said, you're going to marry me. Now, she could have exercised her will and said, no, I'm not going to do that. But I told her, I said, look, we're going to do this thing. And then coming up to her birthday, I already chose what day we were going to get married. I told her, I said, are you busy on your birthday? What's up on your birthday? She said, nothing, I'm free. I said, okay, this is how it's going to go down. I said, on your birthday, we're going to get married on your birthday. She said, really? I said, yeah, we're going to get married on your birthday. We met the middle part of August, and her birthday was October the 9th. So you brother and sister know I cannot forget that date. I better not forget that date because that's her birthday and that's our anniversary. Unless I want to start an argument to try to get out of it. But anyway, my point is, we know. Some of you sisters, you might not like what I'm saying. You're living with a man, or not only that, some of you sisters dating a man. You dating, he might stay in his own place. You stay in your own place. But y'all been what? Playing all these years, and you going around talking about that's my boo and this my friend and all that kind of stuff. You introducing him and her to your family, your friends, and everything. What do you have? What do you really have? You don't have no stability. Your relationship, my brother, and your relationship, my sister, is like on sand. Your relationship is built on sand. You building your house on sand. On the beach, sand. You got a beach house, right? But you need, if you're gonna have a beach house, have it on a solid foundation. It need to be on a rock. What does sand represent? It represents Satan's way. What does the rock represent? It represents Jesus Christ. You want to build your house on the rock. And let me tell you this. Satan not in your relationship. He messed with your relationship. Jesus is in your relationship, but you have to let Jesus into your relationship. How you doing, Sister Charbank? Welcome to the dinner table. You have to allow Jesus to come into your relationship. Jesus not going to force the relationship. You're going to have one or two spirits in your relationship, brother and sister. It's not all you, brother, and not all you, sister. One of the spirits going to affect your relationship. It's either going to be the spirit of the Lord that affect your relationship or Satan. It's not you, brother. It's not you, sister. It's bigger than you. Don't ever think that it's just you, brother, and you, sister. It's bigger than you. It's a world that operates around you that you can't see. You can't see it, but it's there. It's that spiritual world. And it's more realer than the world that you see, that you exercise your five senses with. So, sister, tell me this before I get out of here. Tell me this. Are you allowing this guy to test drive you? Are you that kind of car? Are you the one that he rents out for, rent for a moment? Are you that arm piece that he rent for a moment? Or are you the one that he leased for X amount of time before he turn you back in? He leased you for a good time and then turn you back in? Or are you the real upgrade where he make a commitment to you to say, I do? You have a choice, sister, as well as you, brother. You have a choice. Brothers, since you are the head and leader of the relationship, if you don't want the woman, you shouldn't want the woman anyway. You shouldn't need the woman. Brother, if you don't need the woman, leave her alone. Or shall I say, let her be. Let her go. Don't bother. Why you want to tie a woman up for years and years? I know why. Brothers, don't do like these worldly men do. Don't have these women strung along. Don't string them along, giving them false hope. Don't be telling them stuff like keep hope alive. Don't give them the classic shut up ring. Don't give her a ring and she think that it's an engagement ring, but it's really a shut up ring. You want her to shut up and pretend that she got it tomorrow. Why would you want to lead her like that, brother? Don't you know, brothers, that these women, they are about their emotions. You the analytical part of the relationship. I'm not saying that you're smarter or more intelligent than a woman, but you the analytical part in the equation. Brother, God hold you more responsible than the woman. You know what my evidence is? Go all the way back to the Garden of Eden. Go back. When God started talking to Adam and Eve, what did God say to Adam? He said, because you listened to your wife. He knew better. God told him the plan. God did not go through nobody else. He went right to that man. Also, the Bible clearly say that the woman was deceived. The Bible did not say that the man was deceived. The Bible clearly say that the woman was deceived, and the Bible clearly say that the man was not deceived. Why do you think God modified the relationship? Because Adam and Eve, at the beginning of time, before they messed up, they were just like this, collectively together. But when everything went haywire, God had to modify the relationship. Even though the man and woman is equal, he had to position them now. Because before the fall, Adam and Eve were just like this. But after the fall, God had to redefine the relationship, and he had to put the man here. Sister, just because God put the man here, that doesn't mean he's better than you. That means God put him in this place, called how the organization work is God is the head of Christ, Christ is the head of man, and man is the head of the woman. God fixed it that way. And you know what? You know why things are so messed up now? Because not only that, we're going back to the Garden of Eden. When God basically told Adam, you know how easy it was when you was working. It's not going to be like that no more. Until the day you die, you're going to have problems. And you know what he told the woman? He told the woman that she's going to desire to tell the man what to do. I'm paraphrasing it. That's why, brothers and sisters, that's why a lot of times men and women clash, because of what happened in the garden. It's the flesh part in a lot of women. They want to take control of the man. That's why God told Eve back there, he said, your desire base, you're going to have to give us your desire. And what was the woman's desire going to be? To have control over the man. Research it. That's what God was talking about. Your desire will go to your husband, not the other way around. And not only that, and I have said it before, and this is the highest part of pistosity for some women. When God told Eve, guess what? He's going to rule over you too. That's why some women rebel against that, because it's part of the flesh. God told Eve he's going to rule over you. It wasn't the man that said that. God said that. And that's the friction today right now in a lot of relationships. You got a man and a woman that live as a couple in the house, and they clashing. They clashing because of that stuff, that mess that happened to God. So it's very simple, my brothers, and it's very simple, my sister, if you do it God's way. In order to do it God's way, you have to have the Spirit of God. And to have the Spirit of God, brother and sister, you have to do it God's way. What is God's way? Be serious, committed, and married. God does not endorse playing house. He didn't endorse it for me. I rebelled against God and played house before I met Cinderella. I rebelled against God. I'm telling you, brother. I'm telling you, sister. I did it Tony way. And look, and where did it get me? It cost. It cost for me rebelling against God. If you rebel against God, it's gonna cost you. You remember that law that say whatever you sow, you reap. You sow to the flesh, you reap of the flesh. You sow to the spirit, you reap of the spirit. Even if you believe in God, God does not put that law aside for nobody. When we go to pray to God, when we do wrong, what we really do a lot of time, we think we can outsmart God. We run and tell God, God, I made a mistake. Forgive me, forgive me. But God see our motive a lot of times. God see this. God see that a lot of time when we go to him, we just trying to avoid the consequences. But God know it. God said, he or she just come to me. That I know they're going to do it again, but I'm going to forgive them. I know they're going to do it again. But guess what? It's a consequence that's going to happen to them out there. I'm not going to take the consequence away, but I will forgive them. It's just like this, my brother, and it's just like this, my sister, when you was growing up in the home of your parents, when your parents had to take you to the woodshed, or however they did it, they got that. And some of you are old school people know what I'm talking about. They will get a belt. They will get an extension cord. They will make you go outside and get a tree trunk to tear your butt up. Whatever they got to, they will tear your butt up. But guess what they say? I hate to do this, but I love you. My daddy must have loved me a lot. And my mama must have loved me a lot too. But what I'm saying this, brother, and I'm saying this, sister. When you decide to cohabitate, that's not God's way. It's just that simple. But guess what? God is not going to stop you. He's not going to stop you. You may end up getting married to that person. And it look like you got a bright future, right? But you're going to have some stuff that's going to go down in that relationship. Let's say right now, brother, let's say right now, sister, you cohabitating together and you're not seeing nobody on the outside, right? It's just you, brother, and her. Sister, just you and him. So y'all cohabitate, right? And y'all decide to get married. Y'all faithful to one another, right? You're very faithful, right? Guess what? You're going to get a consequence. You know what one of your consequences might just be? It might be an outside man or a woman that's going to be your consequence. It may be a severe sickness that might be one of your consequences. It may be losing finance, may be a consequence. You're gonna lose something when you don't do it when you don't do it God way. You're going to lose something. You can't ignore it. You can't get out of it. And take it from me, my brother and sister. I have walked the road for you. I have failed. I'm not Jesus, but I have failed for you. I have took the hit for you. I don't want you to take the hit. I have been down that road of rebellion in front of God. I don't want you to rebel because I have got taken to the woodshed by God. God is serious when he take you to the woodshed. He's serious about it, but he still love you. You understand, brother? You understand, sister? He still love you. So guess what? When God put it together, when God builds the house, and that's who you want to build a house. When God builds the house, brother, when he builds the house, sister, it's just like my cousin Connie always say. And this is one of Connie's phrases. She said, it doesn't matter where you get your appetite at, long as you eat at home. That's what she say. She said, doesn't matter where you get your appetite, long as you eat at home. And if you have a good appetite, you have to have a good appetite for the Lord. You got to eat of the Spirit. If you eat of the Spirit, you're going to eat at home. Because let me tell you, my brother and sister, there's nothing out in those streets. Nothing out there. It may look good out there. And as I have always said, if you're looking at somebody else's yard and it look very manicured and it look green, and your grass, it look like it half grown, and you having problems, let me tell you this, my brother. Let me tell you, my sister. I always say this, and you all know this too. The grass is never greener on the other side. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. It's never greener. The only thing that make that grass look greener is that more manure over there. Do you want that manure over there? That's what make that grass look greener, more manure. So don't do it, brothers. Don't do it, sister. Build your house on Lord. Do it the God's way. Don't play house. Don't play shacking. Don't do it. I tasted it for you. It don't taste good. If you do it, you're going to get a lesson down the road. It might not happen now, but you're going to get some later. And you're going to wonder what happened. It's because you made that critical decision when God did not want you to play house. I love you, brothers. I love you, sisters. I hope that you enjoyed this dinner tonight. As a matter of fact, you could take home some takeout plates and enjoy it with your friend. Those of you that looking at me from the book, go ahead and share and like. Those of you that are looking at me from YouTube, I would like for you to share, like, and punch that notification button so when it's time for me to come to the dinner table, so I can say, come and get it, you can come and get it. You all have a good night, okay? Peace out.